The S23 Ultra was just released, and it has one of the... Hold on, that's the S22 Ultra. As I was saying, the S23 Ultra is just released, and it has a bunch of new big upgrades. But should you buy it, and is it worth spending that much? Let's find out. Now I can sit here and bore you to death about the specs of this thing. I'm just going to put it up on screen here. But instead, I'm going to talk to you about the differences in the specs between the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. And spoiler alert, there isn't many. For starters, the processor has been upgraded from the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor on the S22 Ultra to a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor on the S23 Ultra. The Bluetooth technology was also upgraded from the Bluetooth 5.2 standard to the Bluetooth 5.3 standard. The wide lens on the back was upgraded to 200 megapixels, and the front-facing camera was downgraded from 40 megapixels to 12 megapixels. Yeah, they actually did that. But we all know specs aren't something to go by most of the time, so how's the performance? Well, it's powerful, it's fast, and it has zero lag, which is expected from a Samsung flagship. But compared to the S22 Ultra, sources say that the performance is almost exactly the same, with the reputable source Android Authority stating that the difference is hard to tell by simply using the devices. Now, the S23 Ultra's display remains almost completely unchanged, but for good reason. It's literally already pretty clear, pretty bright, and it literally does everything you need with complete detail and clarity. But the only difference with the S23 Ultra is it now has adaptive refresh rate or variable refresh rate from 1 Hz up to 120 Hz. And that's pretty cool and it saves battery life when you have the always on display on. Now in terms of battery life, this thing is king. Some people have gotten it to last up to 2 days, and it's way better than the S22 Ultra's battery life while still having the same battery capacity, which is a big plus, which means that Samsung has been optimizing their processor or the use of their Snapdragon processor way better. Now, in terms of the camera, wow, this thing is really good, and it captures way more detail than the S22 Ultra did, probably thanks to the new 200 megapixel lens. But it's more vibrant, which is a good thing in some situations, but a bad one in others. We all know that the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pixel 7 Pro are kings at making sure that you have natural colors. But the Samsung is a king at capturing details and making sure that every part of an image is good. And for that, that's something that is amazing. Now, I forgot to mention about the camera's ability to take moonshots like a pro. It's pretty good, and it comes out with pretty detailed photos of the moon, and it's not fake. Now, is it worth it? Well, yes and no. The S21 Ultra and the S22 Ultra are basically the same as the S23 Ultra. You won't notice the performance differences, but if you really do need a camera that captures that good of details and all of that, sure, go for it. But if you don't, just don't buy it. But if you have another phone and are looking to upgrade, and you need a good phone with good performance, good battery life, and a good camera, this is the phone for you. The S23 Ultra demolishes competition in every target set, and I'm all for it. Samsung also promises a very long time for software updates. So if you're buying a phone long term, I would recommend this phone completely. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.